Hey there, gang. Patrick King here, coming at you from somewhere just outside Greensboro, North Carolina, teaching a clinic the last couple days here at Southern Seas Equestrian. Anyway, today we've got a question that comes in from Maya, and Maya says, I have a question about lateral work. I ride my friend's horse occasionally, and she asked me to try the leg yield. Her horse leads with her shoulders and trails her hind legs and does not cross over behind. I attempt to block her shoulder with my rein, but her back end always gets lost. We do in-hand work every time we get together, and her horse crosses over beautifully on the ground. What can we do to remind her of her hind legs? The mare is reactive, and I've been advised not to use spurs or a whip with her. So it's a good idea in this case not to use your spurs, Maya, because essentially your horse isn't understanding what we're asking anyway, so the spur is just going to compound any kind of confusion that she might have. What we want to think about when we're offering a leg yield, I would say that there's two different kinds of leg yields when we're educating a horse. So our basic foundation leg yield kind of opens that outside shoulder, and thus the shoulder does lead a little bit when we're doing that, and that's the very basic foundational type leg yield. And then we would have what I would refer to as a connecting leg yield, where the outside rein, instead of opening to open that shoulder, actually connects more to the withers and encourages that hind leg to step under. And it sounds like that's what we're talking about you're struggling with. We want to be sure that the outside rein is connecting to the withers, inside rein is opening to allow the freedom of the inside shoulder while we're restricting the outside. But then that outside rein connection needs to draw the hind leg, the inside hind leg, underneath. In that case, then the hindquarters wouldn't be lagging. This sounds like something, if the mare is really struggling with this, if any horse struggles with this, I would return to the ground, return to the in-hand work, and work with this in the bridle. It's important to understand that when the top line is relaxed and the horse is truly accepting of the bridle, it's almost a natural response for the outside rein to draw that inside leg deeper underneath the body for the horse. So if we're struggling with this, I would return to the ground, return to the in-hand work, and work some in the bridle, make sure that we've got it working that way. And then from there, I might under saddle work on our turn on the forehand to help the haunches step under. That's going to be connecting softly, very softly, the outside rein and opening wide the inside rein, encouraging the hind legs to step under. It's not going to be a pulling back of the inside rein that we see in a lot of like foundation riding. Not saying there's anything wrong with that, but in this case, it's going to be counterproductive to what you're looking for. We want to make sure that that rein opens to encourage that alignment of the front end, while the outside rein is what encourages the inside hind to step deeper. I hope this isn't getting confusing with the insides and outsides with just sitting here at a gazebo talking about this. The idea of the horse being overly sensitive to the whip, that's something that me personally, I would just want to take care of. And that's very, very easy to solve. I would just make sure that in the in-hand work, every time I asked the horse to halt, I would touch her steady with the whip and wait for her to release through the top line, unlock, breathe, lick and chew, that sort of thing. Truly bringing about relaxation with the steady contact of the whip. The slow driving contact, or the rhythmic movement of the whip, is what we would use to ask the horse to move. A steady contact is what we're going to use to ask the horse to halt. And then when we're under saddle, the horse isn't going to be so reactive to that, because they're going to understand that first and foremost, the whip is a relaxing aid. That's really important. We need to always understand that the primary function of our aids is to relax our horse and release tension. The secondary function is to direct, educate, or shape. That's really important to always keep in mind. Again, going back to Maya, your question and the idea of the use of spurs, I would keep out of that idea. Your spur is meant to isolate and constrict a specific muscle. It's not meant to just say move over. And the whip is, I think, a good idea. Once we get the horse educated to proper movement from the whip, it would be really easy to tickle a little bit or softly touch on the stifle or the hind leg to encourage that hind leg to step over. Another thing to be really sure of when we're doing this is that you're not overly pushing with your inside leg. And when I say overly pushing, I basically mean trying to push at all. I want to think in the leg yield, carry my seat softly into the direction of travel. If I'm pushing with my leg, I'm going to be sitting into that side that my leg is pushing with. Think about what's happening. If your horse is leg yielding, if you're on, say you're on a right bend and you're leg yielding to the left, your horse needs to step the right hind leg deeper under their body. If I'm squeezing with my right leg, thereby drawing my seat into the right, I'm heavier now on that horse's right hind leg. Therefore, I'm blocking it. I'm in the way of that right hind leg that needs to be free to step across under the body. So I'm not going to be pushing hard with my inside leg. I've been making the joke this weekend that, I always make the joke about being a princess when we ride. And I say a princess does not push, a princess does not beg, a princess does not have to shove. We're just going to touch with our leg to encourage the horse to relax and to breathe, and then to follow the seat in the direction that it's traveling. Again, when we use that leg, if we're using it to push, it's going to always draw our weight into that leg, and then we're sitting to the wrong side of that movement, and we're blocking the engagement of that hind leg. We want to be sure that we're trying to stay very much in the middle, slightly shifting into the direction of travel, never shifting more than what the horse is actually responding, because if we do, then we're off to the other side and we're blocking over there as well. So make sure, Maya, that we're checking in with our seat and with the lightness of our aids as well. Never be afraid to return to the in-hand work. And it might even be a case of somebody working the horse in hand while there's a rider on top also, to help bridge that gap in the communication. Hopefully this is helpful to you, Maya, and to anybody else who might be struggling with their leg yields. If you found this video helpful, please give us a thumbs up or a comment, something like that. If you know somebody who might be interested or might need this help, please feel free to tag them directly in the comments section below, or share this video directly with them. Let's see, a question of the day. Question of the day. What lateral work have you been working with your horse, and what sort of struggles have you found with asking for that lateral work? Let me know that in the comments section of this video here. And gang, don't forget, you keep asking questions, and I'll keep talking about horses. Thanks so much.